Hi, I'm Fena Barbital, and this is my Bodyody of work. So, when me and Katya started collaborating on hair, we wanted to do some more quirky looks, I guess. And at the time, she was always had those little hands everywhere. Everything was about hands. And so, filming for one day, I took a craft store, like paper mache hand and just braided the hair and made this contraption. It's literally just pinned into another wig that she just had. And when we got to the studio that day, she had these black nails. I mean, the whole thing just like kind of came together. And that's the best part about working with her, is that it's a collaboration. To be able to have that kind of freedom, and the fans really reacted to it and they loved it. And I feel like this hair is kind of, you know, a big standout in it. We later on, I did another hand for the 100th episode that was holding a telephone that she actually could pick up and say hello into. It was hard to pick one photo of like hair of one of those like sculptures that I did for her, but this to me I think was the turning point. So this is my Madonna era. Oh my God. 2005, 6, when she was doing like Hung Up and all that, and like the leotards. You could not tell me that I was not Madonna for like a good 8 years of my life. I even went as far as taking classes with her makeup artist, Gina Brooke. And perfecting that barely there, no makeup for a drag queen is kind of ridiculous. Like looking back on it, I'm like, what was I thinking? I'm like not wearing anything in this picture, but you know what? I'm glad I did it when I was young and I had the skin and the body. And yeah, it was a great time. Loved it. Trixie has a documentary movie called Moving Parts, and I was in it. I argue to say that I was the star, or the ingenue of Moving Parts, which you can watch on Netflix. And this dress, she asked me, I've made quite a few costumes for her, quite a few gowns and dresses for Trixie over the years. And this one was special. This was for the red carpet, the premiere of the film. And she was like, I'm gonna wear this like giant breastplate, and I want something like low cut and very like almost Amanda Lepore-esque. She loved it and it looked great, and that's all that matters. Oh, and the check cleared. So this is my Lady Gaga era. This is also like the tail end of when I was doing Madonna, and Madonna didn't currently have an album, and Gaga was like really coming up into her sort of like crazy performances, wild hair and costumes. And it was actually graspable, because I mean, the girl was wearing like pleaser shoes and a fishnet bodysuit. Come on. I believe we were doing Alejandro, and I had somebody holding a fake keyboard up with their hands at the end of this like the sliver. It's not even a runway. It's literally like a banquet of couches, and like there's like a little slat. A great time for me. I really, expanded past the Madonna blank face and went really crazy with the, the makeup and the looks. So me and Katya were living together in 2017. We saw the movie Atomic Blonde, and I was like, let's do this hair. We decided that she for a while was wearing a straight, like kind of bob. And I'm like, let's, figure it out. So I made this hair from scratch, did the curl, added the hair, did the cut on it, everything. And she put that wig on for the first time and said, I never want to take it off again. So I've done what we call the Atomic Blend in many different variations, lengths, thicknesses. Like she currently is wearing it on tour. She always has one at hand. And I think this wig is something that maybe I didn't create it on Charlize Theron, but I put this wig out into the zeitgeist, and you're welcome. I started working in makeup at a Mac counter when I was 18 years old. And I started drag, like performing in drag around the same time. So they kind of lent each other. Like I remember showing up to like the mall and going to the Mac counter and I looked like I had rolled around on my eyeliner, and the girl at the counter like gave me a thing to fill out. She was like, here, just, you know, try out for the job. Maybe you'll get it. And that led to a 13-year career working in makeup off and on with different companies and, you know, doing all sorts of things. Also at the same time doing drag. And I think it was like 2008 when everyone started getting let go from a lot of like stores and counters. I turned to drag. So for a while I was like doing drag full time and I was paying all my bills, and I was, you know, really working like 5, sometimes 6 nights a week in drag in Boston. And that was great. And then cut to years later, moving to Los Angeles. I always kind of zhuzhed my own wigs and like kind of styled my stuff myself because things I wanted were more specific. And I was living with Katya at the time, and she was doing a lot of different filmings and she needed like her wigs kind of zhuzhed. And I was just like, well, here, we'll just do these. Every once in a while we'd get a different gig and a different gig, and then people started asking me to do their hair, and then it just kind of, you know, progressed. Okay, so, oh my God, this was wild. I got a call to be in a music video for Carly Rae Jepsen. And usually as a drag queen, if you get a phone call to do something like this, there's like you and 20 other queens. But this was special. I was the only drag queen. And I had like 3 days to put a look together, and I made this whole costume myself. It was for the Loneliest Time video. And I was so nervous because this was at the time the biggest thing I've ever done. You know, big time, actual professional set, like, you know, it was wild. So I get there and Carly was so nice. It was crazy to me. Like the whole thing felt like a dream. And then when the video came out, like a couple weeks later, I got to perform with her on stage at the Greek. And yeah, I mean, this is really like a big milestone in my career. So I think as far as costumes that I've made for Trixie, this is one of my favorites. It's like Janice from the Muppets. It's just so bizarre. I took this like foam tire and like made and covered it like really poorly with the fabric scraps and like made this hat, and like, to me, it's like, it's quintessential her. She loved the dress. She felt really great in it. And you can always tell when you make something for someone, and then when they wear it and how they feel in it, it really like, it makes you feel like you did a great job. But I've made a lot of things for her over the years, and you know, she's always been very supportive of me. And you know, I think this was something that fans always really loved. I always get a lot of messages about this costume. A lot of people wondering where I got the fabric and if they can have one. But yeah, I love this. This is actually something that I'm wearing right now. And this was recently, this is my most recent sort of like photo shoot. And it was me being like, you know what? You do a lot of work for other people. You got to put yourself out there more, do something for yourself. So I hadn't had like a glamour shots. And Bow and Arrow shot this in his studio. And he was so wonderful. And yeah, I mean, to me, it reads like you would see this on a billboard in Vegas. You know what I mean? Like, and there'd be like a 1-800 number above it. The thing about my trajectory and where I've come from is that I never thought it was going to be possible to do what I'm doing now. I mean, these are dreams that I dreamt up along the way. So I'm doing things now that I never knew were possible. And that's really the best part, is that it's always a new thing. It's always a surprise. You know, I put myself out there as much as possible, and whatever comes my way, I'm just very, very, very happy with. And, you know, for someone that didn't graduate high school, didn't go to beauty school, was told for many, many years that I was going to be absolutely nothing and that I would, you know, end up a bum. Now I have, you know, several bums.
Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the p.e.g. YouTube channel.